Hey, you ready for a workout? I certainly am. All right, so I got a really fun one set up here, but let's get a warm up in first, all right? So let's jog it up a little bit. You know, a little, I guess, disclaimer here. Make sure you're ready for this. Not all exercises are good for all people. You know, talk to your doctor ahead of time, those kind of things. I mean, just make sure you're safe and wise, you know, as you're doing this. If something hurts while you're doing it, maybe stop, you know, and get help with a professional. All right, either a PT or a personal trainer or, you know, somebody like that to help you make sure you get these movements right. All right, so we're not looking for joint pain. We're looking for, you know, the body working well. All right. So with that being said, we will get our warm up going here. All right, so we got a little jumping jack in here. You can do the full jumping jack if you'd like. A lot of times when I'm getting warmed up, I like to do that half jumping jack just because I'm just getting things fired up. I'm just starting to get things moving. All right, so this workout is basically 6 exercises, 1 minute on each of these exercises. All right, so we got these dive bombers. We're gonna go ahead and tap back, reach up. We got a lunge position to a triangle, which is kind of almost, it's very close to the same position, but it's gonna be some hip mobility and strength on one side, and then the other side. Then we're gonna do a band pull to kind of balance out the upper back. Then we're gonna do the most beautiful crunch. All right, I mean, you're curious. Bobby's curious, I didn't even show him this one. All right, and then we're gonna finish with a little bit of a high intensity cardio, a little squat jump. All right, and then we're gonna take a minute rest, and then we'll go back through it again. All right, so we're gonna loop through that 4 times, and that will be about a half hour of fun right there, all right? So it's gonna be working the upper body, the lower body, the core, you know, and the heart rate too. So it's really a really nice mix, an awesome way to get a half hour's worth of sweet exercise in, you know, without too much equipment. You know, so maybe you want a mat on the ground, especially for the most beautiful crunch. You know, we'll be laying our back for that one, all right? Or, and you need a band. If you don't have a band for the band pull, you could just do the field goal squeeze where we're squeezing back, all right? But the extra tension is gonna be helpful to get a little extra work in there too, okay? So we'll get ourselves ready for this, and then we'll fire in. Why am I wasting my time doing this? Well, because I think there is a lot of information out there, but like also not. Also not. That it's not really, I don't see enough teaching happening. It's more just do this exercise. So we're gonna try to talk through, you know, body positions and all those kind of things while we're working out together. All right, because it's not just what you do, but how you do it that is the highest value. All right, and I found that over and over again through, unfortunately, a lot of times through injuries, that I was doing things, but I wasn't doing them the right way. And so learning that and then learning biomechanics, I got a lot better results, and I don't have to hurt myself so often. All right, a little squat hold to finish off this loosening up process. These exercises are gonna do a lovely job here too. All right, so if any of these hurt, a couple of them are quite challenging. The first one particularly, you know, if the dive bombers are no good for you, you can opt in for like a regular push-up or something like that. All right, but you know, they work the shoulder a lot of different angles. I'm gonna show you that one before I get into the work. The other ones kind of pop in a little bit quicker, but I wanna show you that dive bomber one, all right? So some people have already done these before. You know, maybe you've seen something like this. If you've been in exercise circles a lot, but you're gonna come up, you're gonna be piked up a little bit. We're gonna kind of dive towards the ground. It's almost like a shoulder press happening. And then I'm gonna slide up into upward dog. All right, then I'm gonna reverse that and press back out of it. All right, so I'm sliding underneath and sliding back out. So getting some range of motion through the shoulders in a couple different places there, all right? So let me get my timer set, and we'll get ready to really play here. You ready, Bobby? You ready? Should you tell me when, or I tell you when? I tell you when? All right, ready, set, and go. Here, we got the minute going for dive bombers here. So I'm up high, coming down through, pressing up, working those armpit muscles, and then I dive back through, pushing back up, all right? Abs pulled in a little bit there, pulling back out. Now, the lower you dive, the harder it is. You can do this from the knees, All right, let me reverse this really well. All right. So it can be done from the knees. I can rock through up onto my, with my butt up in the air from my knees also. All right, right in there. This, one of the goals of this one would be get the armpits and the lats firing up, so that press up at the top here. Pretty good there. Oh. Pressing back up in that shoulder press. All right, so now we have this lunge position here. So I'm starting low here. I go elbow on the knee if I need to. But I'm gonna go other arm up in the air. And then I'm gonna go up to this triangle. All right, so this is the triangle where I make this triangle with my legs. So I straighten out both legs here quite a bit, get the hamstring, and then we're dropping in to that lunge again. All right, so we're just going back and forth between these two. So this is a chance to get some strength combined with flexibility in the hip. All right, my shoulder's gonna get a little bit tired. You're reaching up here too, but it's also gonna help me open my posture a bit there. So sinking in, pressing out, sinking in. I wanted to call this like some version of yoga almost, like a TT yoga or something. There's another good name for this workout here. Because very, very yoga-like moves, but done with quite a bit of resistance there. All right, so I'm just gonna spin around, get the other side lunge here, reaching up, and then coming into that triangle, straightening both legs pretty good, and then dropping in again. All right, sinking in there, and then driving back up. All right, sinking in, stretching in the groin a little bit here. Try to stay on the heel of this foot here, and then press back out. The quad is pulling us back out, but this hamstring is getting tight here. Dropping in, strong straight back leg. Try to press through the heel of that back foot there. Try to keep the back straight, so make sure you're not bending your back here. Chest is out, but that's gonna put more pressure on the hamstring. All right, hips stretching big, hamstring stretching big. If you need to, come up a little bit more so your back does stay straight as you're doing this, all right? So if you're not flexible enough to hit that bend. So we got the band, we're gonna grab on about shoulder width or maybe a little bit wider, and we're pulling back here. All right, so we're squeezing back, coming back forward, but don't let the tension up all the way. Squeezing back, I'm gonna go a little bit narrower. The narrower you go, the harder it gets. So you can adjust your difficulty a little bit this way. Push the chest out like you're trying to finish the race first. All right. Ooh. Shoulders down as we're doing this. We don't want to work up in the neck. Usually our neck is really good at getting involved, but we're trying to teach some other muscles to do this. The arm stays fairly straight. There's a slight bend in the elbow, but it's swinging back, and there's not much change in the elbow bend. All right, it's mostly my shoulder blades peeling back as I do this, all right? Squeeze. Oh, good burn. Most beautiful crunch. We need maximum time here. So you tuck into a ball, but an imaginary ball, all right? And then you're gonna reach out, extend the legs, extend the arms, and then you're gonna sweep around the outside, crunching up slowly as you tuck back in, but I'm not gonna grab on. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm grabbing on. Tuck into a ball, reach back out again. Kick it out. Don't kick so low that you start to arch your back, and then slowly roll it back in. If you're doing it right, there's a little bit of a shake that happens while you're doing it. All right, reaching out, lower abdominals pulled in, sweep around the outside. You're tucking up there, the lower back's kind of pushing into the ground there. Reaching out, keep the lower back pushing into the ground. Sweep around the outside. Tuck into that little pretend ball there, but you're not using your arms to hold that ball. Reaching out, abs tight, sweeping around, tuck. Oh, very nice, very nice. All right, squat jump, all right? So right in here, drop it in, all right? Now you can do it just a little heel lift, right in there, but I'm gonna try to see if we can get a full on jump going. Get a little extra heart rate here. We got a minute rest after this jumping around. Keep that back nice and straight. If you can't keep your back straight when you're going lower, don't go as low. All right, stay up higher while you're doing this. Oh, it's getting me. Heart rate is climbing. Legs are burning. Chest out, butt out. Make sure the knees stay away from each other. Yeah. Oh. Here we go. Oh, we need to breathe. All right, so catch that breath. If we're really working, we should be really out of breath. All right, so on that one, the important part is keeping posture intact and keeping a good tempo, even if you're not able to go that far down, and it's just kind of like an upper movement there, right? Oh. So after this minute rest, we've got the dive bombers again, right? Dive bombers, like that lunge thing, band pull, beautiful crunch, squat jumps again, all right? 4 times through. We've already done 1. It's gonna get a little harder probably, but it's gonna help work us better. The difficulty is where the benefit comes from. All right, here we go. Dive bombing. Piking up. Extending through there. Pushing back up. Oh. Working through those armpits and shoulders. Cruising that face near the ground. Chest puffs out. Reverse that direction. Oh, pressing back out. It's tough on the shoulders. Oh, lunge time. Time for lunge. All right, dropping in, reaching up. Let's come into that hamstring. Now again, you might need to be up higher while doing this. Maybe try elbow on your knee as you're doing this. Keep that chest out and you're sinking in and coming up here. All right, or you think you're pretty flexible, you could try ground here. All right. Back side of the leg, big stretch, kind of a groin stretch on this low one here. All right. Keep that chest out. Noticing my back wants to bend. When you keep the chest out, you'll feel that in your legs more. All right, switch sides. Dropping in with the reach. Weight on the heel. All right. Squeeze up. Keep that chest out. This arm is having a tough time. It's dropping forward. That's fine. You can let it struggle, but you're trying to keep it up more. For me, one side's a little bit more difficult than the other. You know, just some maybe mistakes of the past. They catch up with me here. Sinking in, pressing back. Oh, try to straighten up pretty good there. Dropping in, coming back. Oh. All right, whew. Band pull. All right, so grab a hold, fairly narrow, but make sure you can get a good range of motion on it. A little wider, right in there. Again, the feature is this chest out action, all right? All right, so as you can see, I come forward, go, oof. The rib cage comes forward, the chest comes out, and it's actually not about the chest. Sometimes some of the clients are like, wait, what are you talking about my chest? You know, but it's really for the chest to come out, the shoulder blades have to go back. That's what we're trying to get. So we stick the chest out, not as an end in itself, but as a means to get those shoulder blades to tuck back better. Oh boy, that was good. Beautiful crunch. Let's get in there quick. We want maximum time spent here. Extend out. Slowly wrap around. Tucking that tailbone up off the ground. Lifting the shoulders off the ground. Then you extend out. The tailbone can come down, the shoulders come down, but make sure the lower back is not arching. Pulling those abs in the whole time here. Extending, reaching, sweeping around, tucking back in. Right in there. Reaching, extending, abs tight, wrapping. Nice and slow. Maybe get a couple more in. Reaching. Tight, 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 tight. Squeezing the whole time. There's no rest break in the abs. All right? No rest break until we're done with the exercise. If you need a break, put your legs down to take a break, okay? All right, squat jump. Oh boy. Here we go. So it's important, keep that back straight. So it's not important to reach the ground, all right? Chest out, butt out. Good tempo. Don't spend too much time in the squat. Pop back up soon. Oh boy, that's good. That one really gets metabolism fired up. All right, heart rate, calories burned per minute, real high on that one. And actually, by doing that one, it increases the benefit of some of the other ones because our heart rate will stay up through some of these other exercises. So as we go through the workout, if you're wearing a heart rate monitor, you notice your heart rate climbing on subsequent sets. All right, so we're gonna rest a little bit longer. We got 2 more times through. All right, we'll be back at that dive bomber. Whew. Job right now is to breathe. All right, let's do it. Whew. Dive bombing. All right, diving through. And then swooping back up. Diving through. Chest rubs past the grass here. You may not have grass, but ooh. All right. Make sure you got a wide enough hand position here. If it's really hard for you, just don't dive as far. You know, you can stay up higher to do this. Or again, the knees, from the knees. A version of this could even be done on a countertop or something like that. You just lean in, extend up, and then push back. The next situation, you go back on your heels, basically. Lunge. Dropping in, reaching up, hold nice and low here. All right, press up. Try to get that as straight as you can. Gotta keep my back straight. This knee doesn't want to go straight. It's tight. Dropping in. And straighten. I find that some of the best stretches are some of these active kind of stretches where you're actually flexing some muscles to get to this position. It's taking muscular effort to get there. The flexibility you gain in some of these can stick with you a lot more than just the static stretching. Whew. A few more seconds. All right, other side. Get our reach. Get it set. Straight back leg. Pressing out. Keep that chest out so that back stays straight. Again, bail up to higher if you need to keep your back straight. Oh. Oh. Press back. Sinking in. Sinking in. Extend that knee. Keep the chest out. All right, band pull. All right. Grabbing, squeezing back. Ooh. Upper back. All right, getting these upper back muscles stronger and better at rolling the shoulders back is a big deal because most of us slouch. Yes, even I, Jeremy, tall trainer, slouch. And so it's good to spend some time anti-slouching. All right? Oh, the burn is good. Good. Push the chest out. Feel those shoulder blades squeezing together behind you. Almost like you're trying to touch them together back there, but shoulders down. Shoulders down, but not arms down. Ooh, fire. One more. Oh, okay, good. Beautiful crunch. Get down there, maximize your time. Here we go. Extend. Slowly sweep as you lift your shoulders and your tailbone as you're trying to sweep those arms around. All right? So I'm sweeping around, my head and shoulders are already starting to lift. Coming around, tailbone's lifting, and I come into that imaginary ball, and I extend out. Sweeping around, tucking in, got it, kick it out. Lower abdominals tight, don't let your back arch. Keep your legs up higher if you need to, all right? If your back is arching, do it with legs higher. I'm managing it, but boy, is it hard. Tuck into a ball. All right. Squat jump. All right. Here we go. Dropping in, coming up. For me, it doesn't start off too bad, but then it gets really rough. Keep a good tempo. We're not really pausing any of those spots, kind of moving through it. But again, if your knees are kind of tricky, you might be in this little top range. You might just do the little top little hops, all right? That might be a better place for you because if you can't control that big of a range of motion, start with a small range of motion that you can control. Oh man, come on. Yeah, I sort of gave out on that one a little bit. We'll see. I'll have to check the tape on that one. All right, breathing. Your job right now is breathing. At the rate you were working, you were generating more carbon dioxide than you had the breathing to get rid of. All right? So consuming oxygen, generating carbon dioxide, and now we're breathing extra to catch back up with all that we did in that period of time. You can't breathe fast enough if you're working at that level of intensity. So you end up breathing afterwards. That's high intensity training there. All right, we're gonna come back to dive bombers. All right, fourth set. All right, feet are wide, dropping in, press up, push back. They're really hard, just don't go as low. If they're not hard enough, I'll try to go lower. Oh, that was a hard one. So last one I just need to go as low so I could finish it because the deeper ones weren't working anymore. All right, sinking down here, lunge. Whew. Dropping in, reaching up. Try and get the hip down to about knee level here. If you can see, coming across here, it's about that spot. All right, and then we extend. Hanging in there, chest is out, and back in. All right. Find a challenge in both spots. Kind of the limit of strength and flexibility here, and the limit of strength and flexibility here. More of a limit of flexibility for me. Almost there. Chest is out. We don't want to overuse the back when we're stretching the hips. All right, switch sides. The back tends to jump in too much. That's why a lot of people have back pain. All right, we bend the back right away and we keep it bent. So right now you're practicing chest out. Again, bail up if you think your back is not staying straight. All right, you drop in. And then here, could even be as high as hand on the knee as you're doing this, all right? So depending on the flexibility that you have. Dropping in, on the heel. Extend, chest is out. All right, band pull. Last time on that. Oh, it's a good stretch. Those legs feel good. I mean, like, ouchie, but good. Squeezing back here. Find that good spot. Right amount of tension. Go wider if you need to. Big squeeze at the finish. And I'm reaching wide with those hands, all right? Pressing out there a little bit too. Like I'm pulling the band, like I'm trying to break the band a little bit. Oh, holy moly. All right, come on, a couple more. Go a little wider. Finish it. Shoulders down. Looking straight ahead. Don't stick your chin out either. All right, most beautiful crunch. Let's get to work. Tuck it, extend it. And we go higher with the legs if your back is arching too much. Now, if you desperately have to and your neck is tired, you can set your head down. If you can get away with it, leave it off the ground. All right? Keep the chin tucked in though. extend, slowly coming around. Make it as difficult as you can each rep. All right, so it's not about doing lots of reps. It's about making each rep as difficult as you can. Hard pull in on the abs, slow sweep with the pull in, shoulders lifting, tailbones lifting. You make a ball, extend back out. Slow, slow burning. Oh, got it. All right, squat jump, and we're done. Let's do this. Let's get this party going. Keep that chest out. That's part of keeping that back straight. The more the chest sticks out. So even if I'm reaching for the ground, I'm trying to push my chest out to do that. Now the higher I try to jump, the more work I'm getting on this. So if you get a harder push, heart rate's gonna come up more. Just make sure you can land it good. Everything's still in the right position, it's not buckling as you do that. Oh boy, come on, last ones, come on. Oh, we got it. Oh, what a half hour. All right, we're gonna hit the floor here and start some stretches. All right, I'm gonna change my timer around. Start on stretch number 1, that knee pull in. All right, let's go right into it. All right. Stretching is not a waste of time, but let's not waste time standing around thinking about stretching. Let's go right into it. All right, need some stretch time. Chest is out. And this one, you do kind of almost want your arch in your back here. So unlike in the abs where the force was coming out that way, the force is coming in this way now because I'm pulling. Other side. So the force is coming in this way. It's like the bottom of a squat. And I need to push my chest out and stick my tailbone out to get myself in the right position here. When you push your chest out, push your tailbone into the ground, press the other leg away, you're gonna feel a stretch come sooner into the hip of the leg you're holding on to. All right, reach across the ankle over the knee, reach through, grab that bottom leg, pull it towards you. I'm gonna go after it today. Just gonna get some good stretch. That was some good pre-stretching we did in the workout. So see if you can get a really good stretch on these hips right now. One of my really weak spots, always has been, is some of this hip rotation. So I gotta work it, try for it, fight it. If I let that happen, if I let the tightness stay, my back is doomed. I've gotta keep fighting it. I've gotta keep fighting it. We all got some natural tendencies that we have to fight. All right, let's get the triceps. If you're real dizzy, you can stop halfway. I'm gonna go all the way. All right, pat yourself on the back, grab a hold, reach that arm up in the air. Get tricep, we got the hamstring, hip flexor, quad, calf, and chest. All right, other side. Now, one thing I have to watch out for when I'm doing this stretch is that I don't start arching back too much. I don't know if you can see in this video view, you can see my rib right here. All right. So if I could straighten my rib cage out and keep the stretch, it would be better. My rib cage was starting to go back a little bit, starting to arch a little bit. So if I can keep that there, the stretch doesn't look as impressive, but it's more truthfully a tricep stretch. All right, hamstring stretch, chest out, butt out. Tipping in here, pull the toes back towards you. Oh. Dropping in here. Stick that tailbone out behind you. Keep that nice flat back here. All right. All right, other side. Chest out, butt out. I believe we had a friend of ours, she went to Zambia, I believe, and she was, they don't have that full like brooms in where she was. They're little hand brooms. They bend over and they sweep. But they also had the habit of the other hand goes behind the back while they sweep, and that kind of keeps your back straighter. So you go like this, they're like, oh no, you're not doing it right. And so culturally, they knew that. They knew that keeping the back straight was important, and sometimes it gets passed down. All right, press that back, push the hips forward, abs in tight. So sometimes there's wisdom, through the ages, and maybe they don't even know why. That's a good idea, but they know, well, your back hurts less when you do it that way. All right, reach that leg back, push the hips forward, press that heel back a little bit, stretching the front of that hip flexor there. Tighten the butt cheek, especially on that side where you're getting that stretch in. Oh boy. Hopefully you got good and winded there. Hopefully you feel well used there. And you think, man, if I did some of this stuff regular, I'd probably feel pretty good. That's true. That's true. If you did this stuff regular, you probably would feel pretty good. Let's get that quad stretch. Grab a hold of the ankle, point that knee down, push the hips forward. The more activity becomes like a daily thing, the less shocking it is to our body. All right, I think irregular exercise is cruel and unusual punishment. All right, you exercise for 3 days, then you take a month off, and you do it again. You go, oh, it just hurts so bad every time you do it. All right, other side. So it makes sense why people get a little gun shy about doing exercise. All right, point that knee down, push hips forward. When you start getting a couple weeks in of doing it, you start settling in a little bit more. It doesn't mean you don't ever get sore. It's just the soreness is smaller. It's just small areas where you go, ooh, feels like I worked something good. How nice. And actually, once you're moving and doing stuff, you forget about it. It's only a soreness you notice when you stand up from a chair after sitting for a long time. All right, press that heel towards the ground. Bend that front knee, stretching the calf muscles out. All right. In the calf, there is 2 different muscles that make up most of it. The gastrocnemius. Gastro is like the stomach of the leg. It makes up more of that space on the back. And then the soleus runs underneath the gastrocnemius. All right, other side. So the soleus is stretched more with a bent knee, and the gastrocnemius is stretched more with a straight leg. Now both of them are stretched with a straight leg. All right, but if you feel like like your Achilles tendon and stuff like that feels quite tight, spending some time on the knee bent calf stretch can be good too. All right. So if calves are a tight spot for you, probably you should be spending time on both of those. All right. So hand about head height, shoulders down, chest is out, turning away from it like that hand disgusts you. Oh, talk to the hand. Right over there, right? So shoulder is down when I'm doing this. Shoulders down, I push the chest out, and I get the stretch in the right place. For many people, it's super hard to get those shoulders down. All right, drop those shoulders down into place here. All right, other side. Turning away. How you doing? Shoulder down, chest is out. It's our moment. Really puff the chest out there. Like you took a big breath of air. The more you puff the chest out, maybe take a big breath of air just so you can feel what that feels like. And you probably feel it come across that chest a bit more. So you're trying to hold that similar rib cage position while you're doing that. All right, that's it for the work. I got a little thought of the day for you here. All right, this is one of my favorites. I found so much comfort in this, in there. And so this is Romans 7:15. It says, "I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do." And I may have shared this one before, but I love this one so much because I find a lot of comfort in it. Anybody else not understand why I know the right thing to do, but I'm not doing it? I know I should go to bed sooner, but I'm not doing it. I don't like the fact that I stay up late and I get really tired, but I keep finding myself doing it. I'm hating what I'm doing. I don't understand. And I find that very comforting because that was written like 2,000 years ago. So it doesn't seem like it's an abnormal thing, or a new modern thing that has happened in humanity that we struggle, with ourselves. And so sometimes just knowing that you struggle with others, is helpful to know. All right? But then you got to work with it. You got to work with it. One, you can give it to God. Let God work with that with you. But you also need to look at, what things am I doing? And can I get some external help from other people too? Is there just a little bit of structure I could put in there? What about my motivation? Where's my motivation at? You can start digging through some of the stuff and work at it. But just know, you'll probably still struggle. It's not that you're going to fix it completely. It's not going to go away, but maybe you can make it just work for you just a little bit better. Just a little bit better. I don't understand what I do, but I'm doing a little bit less. I'm doing a little bit less. And whose responsibility is it to work on it? It's ours. It's our responsibility. If I have an addiction or a hang-up, it's my job to do something about it. It's not somebody else's job. That's a codependent when they try to take it on. All right, so it's my job to try to handle the issues of me. All right, so hopefully some comfort, but in that comfort, we still must continue to strive. All right, so I'm going to finish off with a prayer here. God, thank you for this opportunity we have to meet, to exercise. Hopefully some of these little thoughts at the end are helpful too. I help these people to be safe as they do this work, that they get healthier, as they continue to exercise and to strive and to try. Be with those that we know who are going through some really hard times. My friends, the Clarks, I have no words. I have no words for some of the struggles that they're up against right now. The things that have happened to them, the heartbreak. It's not time to be able to feel it yet. But the loss of loved ones, it hits so hard. I ask that you would comfort those who are mourning. That in this, it doesn't take people away from believing in you. That it allows people to realize that if they don't believe in you, what else is there? What else is there? There's nothing good, nothing good. So help us, and help our friends, to be able to dig in, to seeking, if they don't have the faith, to seek a faith in something bigger, and a belief that we will see these loved ones, these people we love and care for again in a much better, place that you have planned. And that in the end, all of this stuff will make sense, and all that we go through, whether it's 100 years we spend, is like a blink. And we can remember that as we go through, just to enjoy our blink. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right, have fun, be safe. God bless.